Hello everybody and welcome back to another reading vlog. I am so excited about this one because, as you can see by the title, I am only going to be reading books that I personally think will be a 5-star. So this video, I feel like it's kind of guaranteed that I'm gonna read a good book because I feel like I know myself, I know what books I like, and usually I find good books whenever I think they're going to be a really good book. I mean, that doesn't always pay off. I mean, I've read books like, for example, I'll not bring it up again. I know I've said it in other videos, but A Curse for True Love. That broke my heart, that book, because I did not like it. Like a 3-star, and I thought it was going to be a 5-star. So it does not always like work out in my favor, but I'm really hoping in today's video every single book is a 5-star or very, very close to being a 5-star. The books on my radar for this video are The Assassin's Blade, which I have started. I'll get into that in a wee second. Then I always think this is called Beautiful Creatures, but it's obviously not. Remarkably Bright Creatures and Earthlings. And also, I don't know if I'll get to this one because I am going to be reading a fantasy, The Assassin's Blade, but I would love to maybe get to Golden Sun. I really have high hopes for every single one of these books. Like, for example, with Golden Sun, this is the second book in the Red Rising series, and I loved Red Rising. Like, easiest 5-star ever. I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that this one is just as good, if not better. I have heard a lot of people saying that the series does get better as it goes on. So yeah, I just have a lot of high expectations for this one. And as I was saying, I have started The Assassin's Blade. I started this earlier today and I realized like I should just make this into a video. So I thought, you know, we'll just do the intro now, but I will insert some of the clips because I did start recording me reading this book, and I am about 150 pages into it, and I'm not gonna lie, I am really, really enjoying it so far. I don't know if it's giving me that like 5-star feel, but I think it definitely could still be a 5-star, but it's kind of sitting at the 4-star mark at the minute. But yeah, this is the first book that we are going to be reading in this video. But yeah, I will talk about the other ones first. I'm so convinced that Earthlings is going to be a 5-star because I just think that it sounds so interesting, and I just feel like I haven't read a story with this kind of concept before. It's very, very Black Mirror-esque. I keep on like describing it like that because every Black Mirror episode was kind of like normal life with a touch of something very, very weird, and this is just giving the same vibes. So our main character in this story is convinced that she's an alien, and I think she's just trying to escape Earth and get back to her like alien family or whatever, but she is like on the outside a regular human. She's married and just like kind of living a normal day-to-day life, from what I kind of gather from the back of the book. I don't really know like the details of this one, but that's kind of like the overall view of it, and I just think that that sounds so interesting. And yeah, I just really want to see how the author, you know, talks about that. And am I gonna think she's an alien? I don't know how it's written, so I'm just really, really curious about this one, and I think it definitely has the potential to be a 5-star, so I think I'll definitely get to this one in this video. I also think that this one's gonna be a 5-star, kind of based on the same reasons as Earthlings. It's definitely a story where I feel like I have not read something like that before. So basically, our main character in this one is recently a widow, and she goes to work in an aquarium and she becomes friends with the octopus, and she can communicate with the octopus. And I mean, that's all I know about it, but to me that sounds so interesting that like the octopus is a character of its own and has dialogue. And yeah, I'm just really, really interested to see how that is portrayed in this book. I'm going to continue reading The Assassin's Blade, and I don't know, well, I do know that this is controversial, but I am reading this book first. I have not read any other books in this series, but just based on a few different reviews, I did do my research on this, and most people say to read this one first, apparently for like the emotion that it brings out in you is in like the correct order. I don't really know what that means because I don't know what happens. I have no idea about this series, and I feel like I don't even need to explain it because I'm honestly convinced that I'm the last person to read this series. So hopefully I can continue reading this today. I will put in the videos of me reading it earlier, and yeah, I definitely want to get back to this one soon because I'm really enjoying it and it's very, very entertaining so far. haven't like updated you at all with how I'm feeling on this book. So I'm 254 pages into this, so definitely like over halfway now. It has taken me a little bit longer to read this one, but it's not the book's fault at all. It's just because I have been so busy. So after work I have been doing these yoga classes, and how it worked is if I spent £15 with them, I would get unlimited classes for 1 week and you could only use it once. So I'm basically just trying to like milk it and just go to yoga classes every single day so I get my money's worth. I mean, I definitely have already, because I think the classes usually are like £10 each. But anyway, besides the point, that is the reason I really haven't got like overly far into this. Like I thought I would have finished it by now, but it is really good. Like I am enjoying it so far. It's not giving me that 5-star feeling, unfortunately, but I think it's definitely like on the 4-star mark so far. It really depends on how it ends as well, because I've heard that people get really emotional over this book and I have no idea where it's going. But there has been a little bit of like drama happening in the book now, and I feel like it is quite action-packed throughout the whole story, which I really enjoy, and it's something I kind of need in a fantasy a lot of the time, unless I'm in like the mood for a cozy fantasy. But with ones like this, I just want it to be action-packed. I want stuff to always be happening, and I feel like with this one there is, like, you're really going on a journey with the main character, and I think the main character, I'm not saying names because I just really don't know if it's a spoiler, if this person is even in the series later on, so I'm just really trying to avoid spoiling anything for anybody. But I really like the main character in this, and I like her story. I would like to find out maybe more about her backstory. I'm not sure if that happens in the later books, but I just think that she could be very interesting. And yeah, as I said, I am enjoying this. It's definitely kind of what I expected, but for some reason it's just not giving me that 5-star feeling. But I do think that the series as a whole could be a 5-star, because yeah, I just really like the writing style, and it's just the kind of book that I enjoy. Like, I love a fantasy, I love high stakes, and I feel like this is high stakes. Like, maybe not a lot has happened so far in this, but I think this is a series where it's definitely high stakes. Like, a lot of people could die, a lot of things could happen, and yeah, that's the kind of book that relaxes me, weirdly enough. But yeah, really liking this so far, and I will continue reading it and hopefully update you very soon. Hopefully I'll finish this one soon, but yeah, it's just hard fitting in the time sometimes to read because life can be very busy, unfortunately. But I do want to get on to the next book. I'm not sure which one I will read after this, because I do have Earthlings, which is, I think, a shorter book and definitely intriguing me. But then Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies just sounds very intriguing right now. Like, I'm kind of in the mood for a cozy fantasy as well, and just something easy to read and something that isn't going to stress me out, because I feel like this book could definitely stress me out, and from what I've heard, it's a very emotional ending, so we'll see. debrief. I have not chatted to you guys in so long. Obviously it literally feels like half a second for you. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. I don't know why I'm sitting on my stool that's actually in front of my chair and it makes no sense. I am exhausted today. Let's just go off track a second. I went on my first run of the year and oh my god, I have never thought that I was going to die more than I did on that run. And I didn't even do a 5k. I literally just did a little 4.5k, walked majority of the time. That straw's not going to fit in there. And this was hours ago and I am exhausted. And is that going to bubble up? Do you ever get that whenever you put a straw in a fizzy drink and it just... Anyway, yeah, I am exhausted, so I apologise. I have tried running so many times and it's honestly something that I would love to be good at and I really, really want to try at it this year, but it's just a little bit demotivating whenever you literally cannot run for more than 2 minutes at a time at a slow pace without feeling like you're going to die. And the thing is, I can run on a treadmill in the gym in my own like little space, but see, whenever I'm out in public, like I just get so much anxiety that I literally feel like I could throw up. Like I just don't breathe. I feel like I hold my breath and that is the problem. It's not like my legs are sore or anything. I mean, they kind of are now, but yeah. So back to the books. You may be wondering like why you haven't really heard from me in a while. I don't know if you are wondering, but this is the reason why. So I might actually start with this book. I know that we haven't talked about Assassin's Blade yet, but I just feel like I need to give my reasoning for why we're kind of wrapping up the video here, and it's honestly because of this book. This book catfished me. Like this cover and this description on the back, like I would not have known the trauma that this book holds within its pages just based off the cover and yeah, the description on the back. I was not prepared for this book at all, and honestly I feel like you should look up the trigger warnings in this because I didn't realize I was getting triggered until like after I was reading it. I was just like, I felt really gross and disgusting and it just made me feel so weird after. But then again, it is such an interesting book and it is written so well, and how trauma is like described in this, like it doesn't necessarily tell you like this is about trauma and this character is going through something that's causing like, you know, it's a traumatic experience. It doesn't directly tell you that, but it shows you, and I really like that about it. But yeah, I was just not expecting this book to be what it was, and it just got weirder and weirder and weirder, and I honestly think it's going to be the weirdest book that I will ever read in my lifetime. And I mean, I kind of recommend it, but I just think you should go into this one very aware of how weird this book gets. Like that's the only word I can use to describe this one. But yeah, very good. Just it left me in a weird kind of dark mood afterwards, and because of that I did not want to read anything else for a long time. And I mean, not a long time, like a few days, but I didn't want to carry on with this video because I really knew that nothing else was going to be a 5-star, even if it deserved to be a 5-star, because I was just in a weird, not a slump, but I was just in a weird mood. Take a shot every time I say weird. It'll only be brought up whenever I talk about this book because there's no better word to describe it. But yeah, I also would love to know the opinions of you if you've read this book before. I want to start a discussion on this one because I feel like there's so much to discuss and there's so much to say, and I just really want to know what other people got from this and if you were expecting it to be this like crazy. Yeah, if you're wanting something that's dark, very, what's another word for weird? You know what I mean? Very like Black Mirror as well. Like it still like falls under that description as what I said before I picked up this book. I wasn't expecting the details to go into that much detail. But overall, I think I would give this one a 4-star. And that's mainly because of like the creative side of it. And I really don't think I've read something that describes trauma in the way that this book does. And yeah, it's a really good idea I don't want to say too much because I don't want to like give anything away or spoil too much, but 100% look into the trigger warnings if you feel like you could be affected by some things written in this book. But again, such an interesting book, such a good concept. So I am going to give it a 4-star. It wasn't a 5-star just because it made me feel so dark and so weird. But then again, that's probably what the author wanted to do. I just don't necessarily love that feeling whenever I read a book. So that's the only reason it isn't a 5-star. But yeah, be cautious going into this one. I need this fuel. Like, it's actually kind of embarrassing how tired I am after doing like basically a walk. If you want to see another video of like my running journey, maybe that would motivate me a lot more to actually get out and continue doing it. It's just, oh, I'm not going to bore you with my obsession with like running at the minute. I just want to be good at something, and I'm a Leo, so I take it bad whenever I'm not good at something. So yeah, I'm just gonna blame my horoscope because, yeah, of my competitive mentality. The first book that we read in this video was The Assassin's Blade, and this one was a lot more positive for me. I really liked this book. It wasn't a 5-star, unfortunately, but I do really think that whenever I continue this series, I will find some 5 stars, because I guess the first book in a series could be hard to become a 5-star because you are just learning about the characters and just really getting introduced to the story, because obviously it's such a big world and there's quite a lot of books in this one. But I think I gave it maybe like a 4.5 or maybe a 4.25 sits more right with me, because I feel like I've maybe forgotten some bits in it, but I definitely want to pick up the next one very, very soon, definitely this month. And yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to say about this one. I really like the style of the writing, and I love the main character. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I think, like, in my brain, it's Selena, but I don't think I'm saying that right. I feel like it's like Selena. That's not right. Like, I don't know how to say her name, but whenever I read it, I say Selena. But yeah, I love her character, and I really, really want to learn more about her, and I really hope that we do in the next few books. I'm guessing we follow her throughout all of the books, but again, I have not done my research because I don't want to like spoil anything for myself. I just really want to get into the series and to love it. It is my first Sarah J Maas book, and she did not disappoint, so hopefully this will, you know, let me continue the Sarah J Maas world, because as we all know, it is very popular and it's definitely like got a huge fan base now. Unfortunately, because of Earthlings, I did only read, I was about to say 4 books, 2 books in this video, and unfortunately none of them were 5 stars, but they were great books, both in their own way, and Assassin's Blade was definitely closer to being a 5-star than Earthlings was. But yeah, I really did think that I was going to find a 5-star in this one, but I just know that I wouldn't be able to after reading Earthlings, because I was just in such a dark kind of mood, and it wouldn't be fair on any other books to, you know, even attempt to enjoy them, because I just knew that I wasn't going to. However, I am kind of out of that slump at the minute, and I am excited for the new month ahead with new books, and I'm just really, really wanting to find that 5-star. If you made it this far, thank you so, so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one very, very soon.